The year is 1930. Across the United States, chaos has a name. The Great Depression, banks collapse, breadlines stretch, children stare through empty windows, but inside a small garage in Los Angeles, there are no riches, no cameras, no applause, only two brothers, a folding table, and a mouse drawn in pencil. They looked like characters out of a feel-good movie, young, hopeful, destined for greatness. But the truth, they were broke, laughed at, and one failure away from vanishing. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. This is the story of how two brothers turned desperation into magic hand, built an empire on a cartoon mouse. He was Walt Disney, visionary animator, dreamer, not a businessman but a rebel with ink-stained fingers and a head full of fairy tales. And beside him stood Roy, Disney veteran, financier, protector, not a sidekick but a silent warrior, shielding his brother's dream through logic and ledgers. Together, they were a paradox, fantasy and pragmatism, trying to outmaneuver the worst economy in American history. In a hot, dusty garage that reeked of motor oil and ink, they worked quietly. On the table, animation cells, used envelopes, and a half-functioning camera. None of these tools belonged in a castle, because what they were building wasn't a product, it was a new kind of escape, not just for them, but for the world. Outside, the country burned with anxiety, factories shut down, families starved. The Hollywood elite mocked their ambition, a full-length animated film, Walt's Folly, they called it. To attempt such a thing would cost more than money, it would cost reputations, marriages, futures. They needed people to doubt them. They needed that doubt to work quietly. And what if no one believed in dreams anymore? Walt tucked sketches of Mickey in his coat like talismans. Roy stared at the ledgers by candlelight, praying the numbers would stop bleeding red. They added notes from their mother, old photos from Kansas, even prayers on scraps of paper. They didn't just animate scenes, they poured their hearts into every frame. Away from the headlines and mockery, you could almost hear it. Walt at the park with his daughters, watching them ride a carousel. A soft breeze, a half-eaten bag of popcorn, a single idea blooming. Greater than there should be a place where parents and children can smile together. It was about giving joy when the world had none left to give. December 21st, 1937. The screen goes dark. A projector hums. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs begins. The audience is stunned. Children gasp. Adults cry. Critics stand. What they once called a joke becomes the first animated feature in history and the biggest box office hit of its time. The chaos had given way to opportunity.